just want to thank everybody for being here and thanks for taking time out of your really busy day, and happy St. Patrick's Day. The Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority Board of Commissioners meetings are held on the third Thursday of each month at 5 o'clock. All meetings are conducted at PRHA's main office, 3116 South Street, Portsmouth, unless otherwise noted. All members of the public are welcome to attend. We were going to try to have this one at the property there at Churchland, but logistically, we just couldn't make it happen. But hopefully, y'all will get a chance to ride by there sometime. Ms. Marshall, please roll call.
Commissioner Barham,
Here.
Commissioner Cost, here. Commissioner Pickens, Commissioner Prince,
Here.
Commissioner Wick,
Here.
Vice Chair Jiggets,
Here.
Chair Lalonde.
Here. You have in front of you two sets of meeting notes, one for the regularly scheduled meeting of February 17th, 2022. And if I could get a motion for approval of those minutes.
Make a motion to that.
Got, thanks, Commissioner Prince. Second, Commissioner Farm, thank you. And you also have in front of you the short call meeting that we had, closed session meeting we had on February 24th. I need a motion for approval of those short minutes. Yep, Commissioner Prince. Second, thanks, Commissioner Farm. Okay. Is your young lady on?
No, that's not.
Okay, good.
Did you
Good.
want to roll call for that? For the
Yeah, we
meeting?
got
Do I have to do a roll call?
Yeah.
You know, I gotta get this thing down right, you know? Right, okay, all right. Ms. Marshall on the February 17th notes.
Okay. Commissioner Barham,
Yes.
Commissioner Cost,
Yeah.
Commissioner Prince,
Yes.
Commissioner Wick,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggets, Chair Lalonde.
Yes, do we have to do them both separately?
Yes.
Yes, okay, now February 24th?
Commissioner Barham,
Yes.
Commissioner Cost,
Yeah.
Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks,
I was not here.
Vice Chair Jiggets,
I was absent.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes,
Right. I do think that they can still
you can still vote.
vote,
Yeah,
yes,
well, yeah.
even if you weren't here.
you can still vote.
Well, yes.
And in fact, I think you're right, Sean, that if you abstain, you have to give the reason
Right.
why you're abstaining.
I just
So-
mentioned
so
that
you
because
can-
of
you
the
can
last
vote
board
yes or no.
meeting that
Thank you, yes,
it
sir.
was
Thank you.
approved that,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes here. So as far as my remarks go, as always, a very busy month, very, very busy month. I'm gonna knock on wood and I don't see our security manager here. Jeff, but they are working hard. We haven't found the details out, but there was a stabbing at 100 Dale. Don't have any of the details. It happened about a week ago. Okay. But as soon as we find something out, we'll make sure we all are passed on to everybody. It's still out there. I know I attended a council meeting that the session was about crime in Portsmouth. They've got a couple plans in place. Chief Prince got up, talked about his special operations he's got to go on. Sheriff stood up about special operations he's going on. But we are still being very vigilant, and I'm sure Mr. Bland will talk about it during his time period. I do want to remind everybody again about the conferences that are coming up for 2022. Please get together with Delise. If you've got any conferences you want to go to, we do have a responsibility to become certified as commissioners. I don't think there's any time frame for that, but it's just important that we do try to be as professional as we can. I just wanted to comment too about the fence at Lexington. I think it looks great. Hopefully it'll help us with, again, first of all, aesthetically it looks good. And it definitely that one street there, Deep Creek Boulevard, keeps, in fact, if there was a car that was going to go, I appreciate that. And just officially, I'm going to make the comment again, and I guess I'm going to have to be more proactive. I'm still very, very concerned that the resident advisory board has not met. All right, that's our direct liaison with the residents. We have made the move to go to Seaboard and Phoebus, ourselves, but the residents have got to meet. We've got to have their input somehow. So I guess I'll find out who the chair is and just make a personal call and say, what have we got to do to help them meet? But we appreciate it, even if whatever way they try.
Meets on the 24th.
Okay, and Mr. Bland, before I pass it on to you.
She's up there.
Okay.
I think.
Was.
Doing something.
I'm here.
Very good. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We have all our commissioners here. We're very excited to have you to take us down this street about a strategic plan.
Great. Well, thank you all for making time for me during your busy meeting. My name is Lindsay O'Priest, and I am one of the consultants who will be working with you. My firm is the Spark Mill, and you probably have heard our name and will continue to hear our name as we're going through this process. So today is just to give you a little bit of an overview of how things are working, and then also where you are going to jump in and be a part of the work and kind of explain the board's role in strategic planning, which is pretty important because the board's job is the vision and the mission of the organization, which is a big part of strategic planning. So I'm going to try to share screens here. Let's see if it's going to let me. No. Can someone give me the ability to be able to share a screen? It will be much better with a visual.
You have the ability to share screen. Look at the top of the window. You'll see an option that says share just beside the red button that says leave.
Mm-hmm. It says only meeting organizers and presenters can share.
Bear with me for a moment.
That's okay. So while we're figuring that out, I can go ahead and talk a little bit about strategic planning. So strategic planning is done in many different ways for many different organizations and different firms. The way that we do it at the Spark Mill is we kind of separate it into three different parts. The first part is gather, where we are gathering all of the information that we think that you all will need to be able to make important decisions. So the way that we're doing this is through interviewing stakeholders who are adjacent or important in your communities or to your work. We are doing some resident engagement through some focus groups. We are doing a staff retreat, and also some staff with the staff retreat will be with management and above. And then we're also doing a staff survey. And also we have requested a lot of documents for your internal, the internal part of the organization, so that we can really learn everything about you to be able to help give you a really big document, which is going to be called a preliminary findings report, which is going to have all the information that you all need to be able to make some good decisions about what does it make sense to be putting in the strategic plan moving forward. So once you have that information, we are going to meet as a board for a board retreat, which we are scheduling right now. You might have heard Delis send some stuff out about that. Hopefully sometime in June or July. We'll spend a day together on Saturday, and we will start with really big picture brainstorming. And then by the end of the day, we will actually leave with the outline of what the strategic plan will look like. And throughout that time, you will be able to discuss all of the information we've gathered through the different ways that I just talked about. And of course, your own experience and expertise in the community. So once we have your outline of the plan, we will then share it with our strategic planning team, which is just a smaller group of some staff members who are just kind of living a little bit more into the weeds of things. They're going to help us get it as good as it could possibly get so that they feel really great about it. And then you all will see that draft again. And you all will decide, what needs to be edited, what needs to be changed to be able to make it feel exactly right for your work. And then you will have a vote and you will adopt it. You will get it right so that everyone agrees that it's the way to be able to move forward. And then from there, once we are done with the big strategic plan, the actual official strategic plan, we will work with the staff to begin working on implementation. So one of the things that we really value and think is very important for strategic planning is that you don't just end with a beautiful plan, but that it's something that you're actually able to use right from the beginning. And that's the way that we'll be able to work with your staff to be able to make sure that it's actionable. Your job is the higher level stuff, the goals and the strategies. The staff's job is to make sure to put that into action. So we'll be working with kind of both groups throughout the process in different places. Any questions about that process?
You may go ahead and share now.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Questions.
Sure.
Little background on yourself, please, first of all.
Sure. Yeah,
So
one
that's the
second.
first question.
Yeah. One second. So, I have been working with the Spark Mill for about 6 years now. Before that, I worked with a national nonprofit that had, that I served as a
Oh, but
consultant. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Are you saying Spark?
SPARK.
Yes, Spark, like,
I didn't know if that was a typo or not, but okay. And why that name?
why that name? The owner of the company decided that she really liked it because our ideas helped spark the ability for organizations to be able to do their best work.
And where are you all out of again?
We're based in Richmond, but we work all throughout the state of the Virginia and pretty much the mid-Atlantic region.
Okay, that's my first question. The second question is, I'm going to ascertain that you will be meeting with us in person at some point before we get too far down the road with what you're going to do with the plan. Is that correct?
Our goal is to meet in person for the retreat in June or July, which, as long as everything keeps on going the way it is with COVID, will be in person and we'll be able to spend the whole day together, really being able to hammer out the plan.
Okay, and my third is actually input on the retreat, Mr. Bland. And I think I voiced this opinion before. I really want to see us to do the retreat away from this office.
It will be.
I want to see us go downtown to the Renaissance or whatever. I want to see us have a bona fide retreat. I'm very experienced in being a part of retreats, and I know when we're doing a Class A retreat or when we're taking a shortcut, a tuna fish shortcut. So I want to put that out there because it really does affect the engagement of the commissioners in the process. Thank you.
Yeah, we will make sure that we will, from our side, it will be a well-facilitated, great experience. It will be serious because we'll be doing serious work, but we also are creative in our facilitation. And so hopefully the day will go fast and we'll end with some consensus on the ways to be able to move forward. And if we aren't, then we'll figure out what the next step needs to be able to get there.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And just to tell you a little bit more about our background, because you did ask that first, we do a lot of work with housing organizations throughout the state of Virginia. We are funded through Virginia Housing, which is who's funding this strategic plan. We have done many, 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 many of them. And right now we have done a strategic plan for Vacado, and we have also we're doing the strategic plan for RHA right now. We've worked with many different organizations. So housing is something in particular that we are definitely gaining a lot of experience in, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that in to the work that we're doing with you as well.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I would just give a little feedback input on this. I think it would have been even more effective if there had been some handouts on you all's background to give out at this meeting. But that said and done, for the next housing authority, hopefully you'll take that under advisement.
Great, thank you. I will just go ahead and share the things that I was hoping to share before, and we can send these to you all, of course. Let's see. Okay, great. So this is the process that I was just talking about of how we operate. The first is that gather phase where we're gathering information to be able to give you input that will be helpful in making your decisions. Soak is where we're going to sit with that. This is where we're going to have the board retreat, which we've already talked about, that it's going to be a really great experience. We really, really would love to have as many of you there as possible. It is really the most important part of strategic planning because that's where the actual plan is created. It's really hard to be able to go back if you were not able to attend and to be able to change what happened in that meeting. So we will really try very hard to find a date that works for hopefully all of you, but at least most of you, so that you can be a part of that process because it's so integral to the work. And then Radiate is where we write the plan. We give it to you all to look at, make sure we get it exactly right. You're going to get a couple different versions of the plan when you end. When we end our process with you. The first is going to be a strategic plan that is going to be higher level. It won't have the tactics on it, but it'll have the strategies and the goals. It'll also have some background information on how we went through this process, who did we talk to, all of your names will be on it, of course, as part of the process. And that is kind of your forward-facing plan. So that is something that you can share with funders, you can share with your entire staff, you could share it with anyone that makes the most sense to do that with. We also will create what we call a community-facing plan, which we do at about an 8th grade reading level. And this kind of takes the jargon out of the final plan that you're going to get. That really should be something that most people would be able to understand what's going on. So this is certainly something that you could share with residents, with the community. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier to understand because, you know, some of the work that you all do is really complicated and we want to be able to make sure that everyone can see themselves as part of the plan. The third version of the plan you will get is a plan that is for Virginia Housing. Virginia Housing has some extra requirements for what's required to be in the plan to be able to be reimbursed through their grant process. We've done this many, many times, so we will give that to you all, and we will work with you to make sure that it gets approved. We've never had a problem. We've never had one that hasn't gotten approved. But so those will be the 3 plans that you end up with at the end. And then the final thing that you'll end up with is a implementation plan, which is tactical, which will be a spreadsheet that will show all of the things that are going to happen to be able to make those strategies and goals happen. How will you know that you're successful? When are they going to start? When are they going to end? Who is ultimately responsible? That will be primarily a staff-led project. That will be their work because it's their job to make it actionable. But you as the board will be able to do check-ins and to be able to talk to the staff to make sure that things are going as planned with that plan through the tactical plan that we create. So just a little bit of an idea of what that process looks like. Then I have one other thing that I want to show you all. This is the calendar that we sent in the proposal. We're moving things around a little bit based on availability, which is absolutely fine. We're still on track. So you'll see the strategic planning team is on the top. That's the group of staff members who are kind of living a little bit more in the weeds of this plan. They're the ones who are going to see things first and be able to help make sure that we get them in perfect shape to be able to share with you and other staff members. We are the SparkMill. TSM is the SparkMill. The staff is the entire staff. The board is obviously you. So our kickoff is happening in March and our retreat will probably happen in June or July, which is fine. It's not going to impact the process at all. And we will have that staff retreat in May as well. So this gives you just a little bit of an idea. It definitely would be my goal that we are able to approve a plan, that you all will see a plan to approve either in July or August, depending on when we're able to get our retreat scheduled with you all. And then we'll be able to finish things up probably in August or September, depending on when we have that meeting as well. Okay, let me stop sharing. Any questions about anything that I just shared with you?
Question? No, looks like we're good. Thank you.
Okay, well, the team at the staff have my contact information, so please feel free to reach out if anything comes to mind. I'm definitely here to listen or talk through anything, and then I definitely look forward to meeting you all in person when we get to do the retreat.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Oh, by the ways on that? All right, I guess we'll start looking at dates and times and places, Mr. Bland. Hopefully we'll be able to get some proposals out there. Let me keep going with my remarks here. Mr. Bland was able to crack the code with the city council, and we are meeting April 26th at 4 o'clock with city council. Unusual. Since I've been aboard, we've met with council once. I guess I've been on the board 4 years, so it's been at least 3 years since we've met with council. But what's unusual about it is we only have an hour. EDA then will meet with them for an hour, and then they have the regular planning session happening that same night. So, we're gonna have to really focus on what we're gonna present, what we're gonna talk about. I just wanna, at a high level, and again, in no way, shape, or form do I wanna dominate the agenda, but wanna kind of give my recommendations. And again, we got plenty of time to work on it. But I'd like to start off by talking about the size of the organization. You know, we've got a little over 1,200 public housing units, about 1,900 folks in Section 8 vouchers. So we have a little over 3,000 families that we directly impact with Port Redevelopment Housing Authority. Between the two waiting lists, the public housing waiting list and the housing choice voucher waiting list, we have over 5,000 families that are on a waiting list. So just kind of set the table that there is definitely a need for affordable, low-income housing that still exists here in the city of Portsmouth. I'm going to talk a little bit about the successes that we've had the last couple of years. We've got the Wendy's, the second part of Lexington that we have. We've got Holly Point, it's getting ready to launch. We've got the improvements that Dolores has been negotiating with Westbury and Seaboard. We've got the Swanson tear down. We've got the Mount Herman bond proposal that we're helping with the city, $10 million bond proposal. And then at that point, 340 High Street, and then the home repair program. So we've got some great things that we have done.
Was it Kroger's house?
We helped negotiate the tax credits with the developer. Yeah, yes, sir. And then somewhere along the line, I'd like get some of the awards that we've got in the last couple of years. I know Family Services has got some awards, and Financial has gotten some recognition for the outstanding audits that we had. So at least put forward that hey, not only are we talking about it, we have outside interests that have said that we're doing a good job. And then I'm probably going to pass the baton to Mr. Bland for just a second or two to talk about the Move to Work program. That we're one of the few agencies that have that. As far as challenges go, and again, this is where I want to make sure I'm getting y'all's inputs, because I don't want it to be that hey, this is just the chairman's discussion, because we talked about it last time about where our goals were. But of course, I personally have had the focus on senior housing. I'd like to keep on that. We have the issue, Mr. Bland's at least 2 or 3 times has gone to the city manager about the MOU that we have with the city. The contract that we had is 1954. Yeah, so we have no updated agreement with the city about what's supposed to be provided, what they're supposed to help us with since 1954. Things have changed dramatically. And that's, in our opinions, that's why we're having some of the struggles that we're having. Trash removal services, security services, road repairs. And we just need smart people to get back in the room and say, okay, we're now 2022. We need that updated. And the last one I want to leave is the Effingham, you know, as far as, you know, what do they want us to do? I guess it's time to ask point blank, unless Mr. Bland is able to get an answer for us on Effingham. Nice to have. The only one that I'm going to walk away with is that we've made the bid on that property across from Lexington on that junkyard. We've asked the city on a couple occasions. We are more than willing to make the investment to buy that property around it, but sure would be nice if we had a partnership with the city on what the vision is going to be that, so we can kind of create a safe corridor for our residents here in the city of Portsmouth, and we just haven't gotten any input. All right, so I'm just giving you what my thoughts are. Again, I'll be asking you all again next month. All right, so that because we are kind of on the as a courtesy to at least let the city council and the city manager know these are the items we'd like to talk about. All right, there will be an opportunity at the end, and I will make sure there's an opportunity at the end that each one of y'all, you know, has time for your own individual input. Okay, all right.
Well, I do have one question because I watched the EDA meeting and didn't mention in reference that the chairman of the EDA met with you and Mr. Bland. Is that correct?
Yes, we met. Yeah, we met and
Could you share a little bit of what the topic of discussion was at that meeting, please?
to set up to push council to have a meeting.
That was basically the.
That's what it was. The outcome. It's at that point, we decided that we were going to both write individual letters to council, right? And since they scheduled it, we don't have to write the individual letters now.
Okay, thank you.
That's what we left with. Okay. Yep. Okay, go go down, Mr. Battle and Vice Mayor aren't here. Okay, all right. They get the invite, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a
committee-
record of how many, sorry, times that they haven't shown.
Well, according to our bylaws, and I know Miriam will talk about it, if they were commissioners, they'd be removed from the committee right now, all right? You know, when you miss 3 consecutive meetings, you're out, so. Judge, can you take care of that for us? Right?
No, I didn't mean to do that. I'm just asking. It's been a while.
Yes, sir, it has, and, it's not, and, yes, sir.
Just,
I appreciate the pointing out the obvious there, Sean, but thank you very much.
will take care of it.
no.
As a follow-up question to that, I mean, so they're getting the calendar invites, but is there any actual personal connection to discuss?
Yes, sir.
There is.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Personal connection to invite him to the meeting. Yes, sir. Sir. Yes, sir. I think you know my personality well enough, right? Yes, sir.
There's no question.
In fact, yes. Committee remarks, as far as the finance committee goes, I'd like to introduce Kente Darbo, our new chief financial officer coming in, been here about a week, all right? Need to, he talks North Carolinian, so, North Carolinian, 3 kids? 4 kids, couldn't figure out where to send him, so he's got one at USC and he's got one at, North Carolina State, so he's got some great genes that he's trying to do, but,
Did you pronounce the last name again, please? What is it?
Last name is Dabo,
D-A-B-A-O?
D-A-R-B-O-E.
I'm sorry, say that again.
D-A-R-B, like B-O-E,
D-O-E?
B like boy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
but, did you want to,
Yeah.
you have the floor yourself, sir,
Yeah.
for less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, thank you. Anyway, I've been coming with the housing background, I work in the housing authority for 10 years. Coming from DC, actually, I'm the controller there. Prior to that, I was CFO in Colorado as well as North Carolina, I was CFO there. So I've been very much familiar with public housing, and a lot of the other programs, so I'm here, trying to learn more from staff as well as trying to see how best I can help the agency as well, so.
Will you actually be relocating to Portsmouth?
Yeah, I might be somewhere close by here, yes.
Within what time frame?
Very short,
Very short?
yeah.
Will your family be coming with you, or how are you gonna do it?
Possibly, yes, possibly.
And you all are actually residing in Washington DC at the moment, is that correct?
No, I'm actually in here right now. I just took a place, I'm looking at a location to rent or something.
Oh, right here, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Darbo. I think you got all these personal things out of the way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No,
Thank
it's
you,
not
thank you.
about the work.
Okay.
Hi.
And I just want to, and I hope we'll have the opportunity to do it again, but Ken and I, as far as being a member of the finance committee, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. You have definitely taken us to a place that I know myself personally, and I hope I share the board's comment. We're very, very comfortable and confident now what kind of legacy you've left here with the finances. You've built a great team. Your professionalism is of the highest regard, and your integrity is absolutely fantastic. And the hours and the time and your professionalism has been unbelievable. So I just, from my standpoint, I hope from the board standpoint, thank you very much. And we will do whatever you need us to do. The answer is yes. All right.
You will be. So.
Development committee.
Got it. Okay, so I met with Philip via Zoom yesterday, and we discussed, a little bit about Lexington Place Seniors. Basically the layout, hopefully, probably a 3-story building with about 100 units. Still in planning, so it may change. That's it for that one, so it'll be 1 and 2 bedroom, units available. We also discussed 5315 Hash Tree. We had an application in, we have an application in with Virginia Housing for 15,000 in grant funding to pay for site planning and feasibility study. We expect to move forward with both plans by next week and have results by the end of April. We are still under contract to sell 1600 Effingham Street, which is the Washington Park area, To Safe Store, we have met with them last week to discuss changes on their rezoning application, so that it meets the city goals for the area. And lastly, we talked about, 2 sites. We were looking at 2 sites, roughly about 3 acres for small senior development, also enforcement. We hope to bring a negotiated agreement forward by May board meeting.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Thanks. Yeah, you're on that committee too, right?
I am.
Did you have anything?
I was actually unable to make their call yesterday. So,
Okay.
that's cool.
Well, y'all make a good team. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Human resources?
We missed the last, well, actually, we didn't set up the last, we had the other.
Yes, sir.
meeting.
Yes, sir.
So we'll set up something tonight and then get back. We're down to the last quarter of the book, so.
That's a huge book, sir.
It's
It's a huge book. Yes, sir. I appreciate, I know that is one of those ones, you can take all the time you want, so we get it right. Right, because that's gonna leave a legacy for this group. Housing?
Oh, yes. Did you want to do it or?
You can do it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pass it on to my,
I'll do it.
you want to do it?
Sure.
Okay, because I wanted them to go and, I had responded to that for the part on Swanson Home. Because I'm very curious and interested in the status of the number of residents that are still there at Swanson Homes. And the, information on how many have at this point been able to actually utilize the vouchers. But other than that.
So y'all haven't had that conversation before now then?
No.
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
actually, I did send an email.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
with that said, Commissioner Wicks, whatever you provide, I'm sure they'll be able to jump in too.
Okay. The Housing Choice Voucher Program is continuing to work with our mainstream family unification and emergency housing voucher holders in their search for housing. We are continuing to update household and income information for voucher issuance to the Swanson residents that have selected to receive a tenant protection voucher for relocation. The housing department is continuing to assist the residents with their delinquent rental accounts through the Virginia Rental Relief Program. Gov2Go and payments are being received on the residents' behalf. Also, the wait list for Phoebe Square, 1-bedroom apartments, and Dale and Hope Village, 2-bedroom apartments, will open on Monday, April 18th, 2022, and will close April the 20th. And if you have anything to add about, Swanson residents?
Sure. So there's a total of 210 units.
Can you speak a little bit louder?
There's a total of 210 units at Swanson. It's 37 vacant units as of now, which leave us 173 occupied. We've issued 71 vouchers. And we have 15 residents that relocated to our other developments.
Okay, and thank you for that. If memory serves me correctly, not until the very last person is out of Swanson will we be able to start demolition. Am I correct on that? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Carol, did you have anything at all?
No.
Thank you.
We're working with them to help them find housing. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
forth.
Yeah, because, and you know why I mention it, because of the history on, we don't want them having to think that we are not giving them all the attention that we can, because we know how it can become very politicized, very politicized. So thank you.
Vice Chair, you wanted to talk about governance?
Yes, I think you all, Diane, have received your package that Mr. Bland sent out, his draft of bylaws. I would ask that, before July, you take the time with your copy to mark it up with whatever input you have and bring it with you to the July meeting so that we can have a discussion about it, to be in a place to do the adoption of the revised bylaws at our August meeting. So what you will see is the draft bylaws on the agenda, on the July meeting agenda. So now this is March, fellow commissioners. So I know how time can creep up on you, but once you start going through it, think about how we do things now and think about how you would perceive that we should be doing things and govern yourself accordingly as you go through the draft. And Mr. Bland, I had asked if he would also have Attorney James to take a look at it for legality and anything that we might need to link into this from state law. So Attorney James, that being said, the same, because you will see it on the agenda, the July agenda for discussion. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, and please do take a look at it. There's a couple slight changes, but there is a lot of changes. And I think they're highlighted, at least my copy got highlighted in blue. So if you'll get a chance to take a look at it. Okay. Right. Mr. Blaine, you're up.
Okay, couple things. I'm working with the health department and probably the last part of, March and April, and then during the month of April, they plan to, come back out to our various community to do vaccines for anyone who may be interested. And they will be providing flyers that we will be putting out and stuff like that. So, not on for our residents, but for the broader community too. So they're looking at Hope Village, Hamilton, Kingsway, Lexington, Phoebus, those locations, at Seaboard, just to do another run through, to make sure if anybody's interested in the vaccine, that they.
Are we a part of the senior, like senior healthcare, there's something going on at the Commodore week after for seniors?
Oh, senior service.
Is
Yeah,
that-
we're a
Are
part
we a
of
part of that?
it. They're one of our partners.
Yeah. Right.
I reached out to the Public Works today also, and they're gonna get back to me tomorrow to try to set up a schedule for the streets and Seaboard to do the streets sweeping. And I mentioned to them, election, and I think we got city streets go through election, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those two, so they're gonna get back to me and try and make sure we're on the schedule, since they're putting the schedule together. And I did ask them also, I talked to them briefly, but maybe the possibility to try to do, the horseshoe for us at Dale in the street sweeping. So hoping that we'll be able to go ahead and do that. We'll continue looking for land opportunities in various parts of the city for senior housing. Because we all know that senior housing is the fast growing population. And so we're hoping that we can find enough land, various locations, maybe over the next few years, build additional 400 or 500 senior units. And that's about what's an option. Everything else you guys already discussed, so that's it.
Anything?
This is kind of off topic, but only because of my neighborhood. And this might be something legal needs to look at. Are we ever able to sponsor a piece of property for green space? There's a flood zone that it's not gonna be built on, but something to where it's our name and we've saved this for green space enforcement.
Well, I would say if we're able to do that, well, I would like for the city to take the responsibility for maintaining it.
It was a question first, is there that potential opportunity?
Guess we had to look and see what we still have on our books before I can say yeah.
It was, I'm just throwing it out there, only because there's a, you know, I also work with green space and, there's some areas that if we can maintain them as, you know, just green space, bird space, whatever. But to be a sponsor for something, I also think that that would be a good thing for, the housing authority to have their name on that, you know, they're also out there for all of the community.
It's an interesting thought. I know in my lifetime here, I know we gave some space to the Ida Barber, the daycare center there, so they could have a playground there, but that was for them.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't sponsor it ourselves, but, that's an interesting thought. I mean, we are part of the community.
Just
Part of the community.
throwing it out there.
Yeah.
And of course, some people still refer to the Idlewild daycare as Miller Day Nursery, so, because my children actually went there. So, but anyway, I don't wanna jump up on anyone else, but you're going down the road, right? Is that where we
No,
are?
ma'am, just seeing if anybody's got anything for the executive director.
Oh, well, in terms of, possible sites, Mr. Bland and the Development Committee and Director of Development, I would like to see you all take a look at a double-decker house that's at the corner of Staunton Avenue, and I think it's Palmer Street, but the address is, I believe, 2111 Staunton Avenue. It's an older home, it's a double-decker, but certainly, I don't know who owns it, and that's what I would like us to investigate, to find out who actually owns that property, because it's in, even though it's in dilapidated condition, the, framing of those older houses is best. Can't even be replicated in today's world. That's why when you see houses gutted, you're not seeing them take down the framing, because the framing stands up. Also, when I was looking at the EDA meeting the other night, one of their commissioners mentioned a property off of Cedar Lane near the fire station as a possible development opportunity. Their commissioners didn't seem to really engage in it, but I would like us to take a look at that property as a possible acquisition or possible some type of small development, senior housing maybe. As well as with the, what I call a double decker, because it's certainly the property on Staunton. It appears many years ago that it may have been a duplex, but a stacked duplex, so I will mention that.
Let me,
You all know I have a
let
good,
me,
good record with finding
let me-
good properties.
let me bring that back, to the commissioners here.
Mhm.
While I appreciate Vice Chair's comments about individually wanting the ED to look at something, I want to make sure that the rest of the commissioners, that we've got a majority, that's where we commissioners want to spend the time, ED's time and his staff is looking at these two properties.
Mhm. Well, I concur with that, because we want to make sure
Well, let me ask
Something.
the
Yeah,
other commissioners
that it's
here.
something that goes along with our vision.
Just want to ask the other commissioners here, these two specific properties, I just want to make sure I've got a head nod, or if it's okay to,
Sounds
ask.
good.
Okay, good, so we'll have him report out. Okay.
What was that address again on Staunton?
The address on Staunton is, I believe it's 2111. The house next door where you can see the numbers is 2109. But the reason it's caught my attention is because it's in very, I wish it did look that good. No, it's an all wooden structure. It's all wooden.
As long as it's not taken away from something else.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Oh, of course, that goes without saying, under the assumption that we're never gonna ask staff to do anything that's gonna take away from.
Well, I just want to make sure it's we that are asking staff.
Well, it's we, but our eyes have to be on it. And I hope all of our commissioners, as you go around the city, please engage in, looking for opportunities for our PRHA, for housing. And that's why it was mentioned.
Any other analysts? No, just, what are the rules, Mr. Bland, or Val, well, Mr. Bland, do we require parking stickers on the properties where,
Here we are.
Okay.
We got the 2022 stickers in now, and we're in the process of distribution of those stickers to all the residents.
yes, I think I've told you before, I always go through Dale on a regular basis. And for some reason, the last time I was there, I'm gonna say I counted at least 25 cars that had expired tags, and some of them were up to 2 years. I know during COVID, we looked the other way, and I'm not saying, hey, let's go after them, but it just jiggered my mind about whether we required
But that brings
stickers.
up a good question. Do you think we as commissioners need to have a sticker?
So I say that again.
Do you think we as commissioners need to have a sticker on our car so when we come to meetings,
Okay.
These are for the residents.
Other residents.
Going in with a ticket.
Right.
Express cab.
Okay, PRHA allows up to 5 minutes for public speakers, and you got anybody online? There's nobody outside?
No.
Very much. All right, with that, I'm gonna read the resolution to go into closed session. Whereas the Virginia Freedom of Information Act provides the Board of Commissioners can meet in a closed meeting for personal matters as set forth in section 2.23711 of the Code of Virginia. The personnel matter for discussion is the Executive Director's annual performance review. Now therefore be resolved that in compliance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, the above referenced section of the Virginia Code, the Board of Commissioners shall reconvene in a closed meeting on March 17, 2022 for a discussion of a personnel matter pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711. So, Ms. Marshall, I need a vote.
Motion.
You need
Make a motion.
I'm gonna get this down right this time, right?
Motion to go to closed session.
Closed session in a second. Thank you, Ms. Wentz. Okay, now the vote.
Commissioner Barham,
Yes.
Commissioner Cost,
Yeah.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Prince,
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggett,
Yeah.
Chair Lalonde.
Thank you, yes. All right, we're in closed session. Yes, sir, thank you.